Yeah, we are live. The counter is up. It should be good. Hello, everybody. Come on in. Come on in. This is the Breakfast Buzz.
Look out! What the fuck is the matter with people in this business?
Some men aren't looking for anything logical, like money. They can't be bought, bullied, reasoned, or negotiated with. Some men just want to watch the world burn.
Comics are awesome.
Come on in, everybody. Come on in. We're here to talk comics. Have a seat. The chat is open. The videos are live. I'm going to jump over to my Facebook before I forget and make it public. Come on in, everyone. Don't be afraid. The coffee is pouring. Everything is good. Come on in. We see you out there. Come on in. Tell your friends the Breakfast Buzz is on. We'll see who we can get in the studio this morning. Or at least online. We make no promises. So we have Daphne already in the house, and we're not sure who else is going to join us. Varian apparently is sleeping in this morning.
Oh.
Well-deserved rest. He asked me last night when we were doing Geekgasm if I was going to set the room up. I told him I was, and he goes, good. And I'll see you later. That's what he said. So he might be sleeping in. I don't know if he'll be here at all. I don't know if all of our scheduled guests are even going to show up. So
Varian's the boss, so he
yeah, it is. Boss can be late. Yep, that's right. And he hasn't been feeling well, so
but he has been sounding better. I mean, it's nice to hear him sound lucid.
Thank goodness. Thank goodness. Yeah, it's a lot better than the couch phone vid.
Yeah.
Moaning and groaning. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
It's the Breakfast Buzz, people. We're going to run the opening. Come on in. We know you're there. Hit that like button. Don't be afraid. There's refreshments in the back of the room if you can find them. I think I just restocked some cups there. They should be clean. Coffee should be fresh. People are coming in as we speak. Dorfis is in the house. Dorfis, how are you? Hey.
Hey.
How are you? We're waiting for Varian. Well, we're not going to wait. We're just going to
go ahead.
We're glad you're here, Dorfis. Come on in, everybody. Come on in, folks. It's the Breakfast Buzz. We're going to run that opening as soon as I find it here. Oh, let me look here. I think, nope, that's not it. Oh, nope, that's not it either. Holy crap.
Could be.
Let me get up to the coffee. There we are. Coffee is still pouring. Come on in, everybody. Let me see here.
We got V8 and Oreos.
Every time he adds a video, it knocks the order out of sequence. Here we go.
Everything's perfectly all right now. We're fine. We're all fine here now. Thank you. How are you?
We're all fine now here.
I can't believe that's a real scene in a real movie.
Say what?
I still can't believe that's a real scene in a real movie.
Well, at the time, it wasn't really a real movie.
Right. Or a real scene, because I heard that they ad-libbed a lot to get around George Lucas's script.
Yeah, well, they were kind of struggling with the lines, is what it was. Yeah. Because do we really have to say this hokey stuff?
Exactly.
Just make something up.
Yeah,
exactly. Mm-hmm. That was long before Next Generation and all the tech speak.
Right. Yeah.
Dorfis is doing awesome. We're glad you're doing awesome, Dorfis. It's good to hear from you. John Celestri says, good morning, Randy and Daphne. I'm having a bad hair day. Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
I can't help but know how that goes, John. We hope you're doing well. Michael Oden says, good morning. Good morning. Good morning, Michael. Hope you're doing all right. Michael Oden does Elysian Fields. I believe that campaign is still raging hard. Let's be rebellious and start without him. Well, we've already started, Dorfis. Yeah. We're on the way. So we already ran the opening. Sean, Deanne says, morning. Good morning, Sean.
Good morning.
Hope you're all right. We're going to take the coffee off now so that you have to look at our faces.
It's a good thing I washed.
I tell everybody that I've got a face made for radio.
Right.
So here we go. No, wait a minute. That wasn't it.
Well, I mean, maybe it is.
I did.
Oh, there we go.
A little better. Come on in, everybody. Come on in. It is the Breakfast Buzz. It's Thursday morning where we are. We're not sure where you are. Oh, we have Mr. Travis Gibb coming into the green room right now. His camera's not up,
okay.
but he's trying to get in. And we have a few more guests invited. We're waiting for Varian to come on board, and we'll get the party started. Everybody, come on in. We are actually the co-host, but the host isn't here, so I guess we're hosting. So I'm Randy Zimmerman. I'm an independent comic, alternative comic creator, publisher. Done just about everything in the direct market that you can imagine. Retailed for many years. Have coordinated conventions. Distributed books. Did my own newspaper for the last decade. Well, we lost Travis. He ran. I knew he wasn't going to stick around.
Well,
But
he said his camera's acting up. So.
Oh, is that what he said?
Yeah.
Okay, any excuse, I guess. But
Yeah,
anyway, here we go. Where was I? Oh, yeah, right. I'm an award-winning commercial and graphic artist whose main specialty right now is sequential art, mainly for commercial advertising and educational purposes. And I'm also part of the Indie Volt Radio Network and do the Sunday Funnies program on Sunday morning. And joining me for the moment, I guess, is my co-host, Daphne Lage. Hey, Daphne.
Riding shotgun.
Riding shotgun.
Hi, my name's Daphne Lage, and I'm a cartoonist, illustrator, and comic book artist out of New York. I am the artist of the funny animal fantasy comic Tall Tales and the upcoming Ego Raven, Heir of the First Unicorn, premiering on Kickstarter January 4th, 2021.
Look at that. You already have a sample of that book.
Yeah, no, I'm way ahead. I'm not risking anything.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm not risking anything. And if you want to learn more about this and all my other projects, you can check out my work and sign up for updates at Talltales, TAILS online.com, and my YouTube channel at Daphne Lage, LAGE Art.
There we go. So then, like I said, we were expecting a few additional people. Nobody's quite gotten up yet this morning.
It's early.
Somebody sent me a note.
It's early. It's raining here.
Hey, bud.
Everyone's bracing themselves for daylight saving to end.
If you got a spot. Oh, Michael Oden says, hey, I'd love to join in if you got a spot. Michael, I'll probably send you a link here in a little bit. So.
Yeah, he revealed a finished version of his statue. I think it's supposed to be like a 10K
stretch
option.
goal?
Oh, yeah, stretch goal, yeah.
I'm sure the statue was 10K.
Yeah. Oh, well, right, yeah. Yeah, it's a stretch goal that's 10K, but it's like in full color and it's been painted.
Nine Realms says, good morning, Breakfast Buzz.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. If you guys would like another panelist, I'd love to hang out with you on your wonderful people. Yeah, maybe we'll send you a link. Nine Realms. Cheers. Trico says, good morning, everyone. Good morning, Professor.
Good morning.
Hope you're doing well. We were talking earlier off camera with Trico. His equipment makes him sound like a chipmunk.
Oh.
So we're all trying to get around this morning, and finally, here we are in the green room, probably stuffing his face with those stale Cheetos as we speak.
Well, if he can make it up with the V8, get some vegetables in.
There you go. Mr. Varian Grant, good morning.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning. Hey, you know what? It was V8 is I had to drink that before, and no. Although look, it's not the worst thing in the world. It's not the worst thing. I would rather drink that than a couple other drinks that are supposed to be that aren't labeled as healthy.
Right. Oh, wow.
Yeah, especially if it's nice and cold. Nice and cold. But sometimes not the taste, it's the consistency of that stuff. It's
yeah, definitely.
Especially early in the morning.
Yeah. I'd have been here earlier, but Windows decided it was up big time.
Oh yeah, I hate that.
Well, that might be Travis Gibbs' problem.
Yeah,
he can't get his camera to react, even though I've seen him on plenty of podcasts yesterday.
He's I Windows did an update on me, and I was like, hey, what's going on here? And then it finally popped on, and
No, I have my computer set up, so it has to be forced. So it delays until it finally forces itself through. So
It's pound on that computer enough thinking about Adobe Comic Blast.
oh boy.
Get it to work.
I did. And, you know,
You know what's funny? It's like I still had to think about it's like yeah, how stupid that name is. Comic Blast. What program? I mean, it's like it's not like Adobe Photoshop, Illustrator, InDesign, Lightwave.
It's their idea of what comics are.
It's like a Comic Blast. It's like that's like a baby name.
Well, yeah, you know what? You know why? I think because it was right there with Boom Pow Bang that we didn't get.
Right.
It's a thumbs up if you're good to go.
Yeah,
we'll bring in. If you can hear us, Travis.
Yeah. He did a thumbs up. He's good.
Did he? Okay, now I see it. There we are.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
Good. Yeah, for some reason, Google Chrome is randomly saying that my stuff is in use. I don't know why.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. Probably the government's spying on me. That's fine.
Probably.
Just tell your personal NSA agent that, you're just doing a podcast. It's all good.
Right. It has nothing to do with the election.
They can watch you from there. Yeah.
Usually what happens when mine does that is that some other program still has my microphone and
camera in use
and mic. Yeah, it's still, guys. That's probably what's happened there. They want to know where you're making your money from, and they were like,
yeah, Google is always listening.
Yeah, it really is. What's worse, my mom has she bought a new TV, and it turned out that the TV, her phone, and her computer all talk to each other.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
they all snitch on her.
yeah. I'll tell you. This I won't say the name of it because it'll fire up, but this young lady in front of me with the screen here, the digital screen, I have a Amazon or Alexa show in front of me, and
she's rather sensitive.
Yeah, and I didn't know she's listening because there's times I'll be talking to the kitchen. I don't even say anything with an A in it, and she's like, "Okay, let me look that up." I did not ask you. I did not ask you to look anything up. Why are you doing that? And then me, I'm an idiot. I go get a thermostat with it built in. So now when I say it, she answers on the thermostat, and it's a weird experience. It's a weird experience.
No, it's like I don't want.
She's always listening.
I don't want anything in my house talking to each other.
It's almost like you say something to your wife and maybe you walk off and you mumble something and she's like, "What?" You're like, "Now I have to be careful what I mumble around the house because she's listening. The other wife is always listening, ready to snitch." Yeah, no, for real. I think that she knows. Like, don't you realize I can turn off your lights? Don't you realize that I have all your credit card information?
No.
Do you want 5 pizzas tomorrow? I can make that happen.
Yeah.
Well, that wouldn't be exactly a bad thing.
Ordering 5 pizzas now.
Yeah.
I'll take as many pizzas as you want to send me.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know if you want to see that bill when it comes in the morning.
Wow.
That's the problem.
It is what it is. If it's for free and I get to eat pizza, I'm not going to worry about it for a few days.
Oh no! You'll eat like, this is great, 5 pizzas, and then you realize your credit card. You're like,
pizza is the only food that tastes good hot and cold.
Yeah. I could.
Nobody complains about
9 rounds of killing for Trico. And Varian, it's in the house. Yes.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm gonna
good morning.
Got my trusty blue hoodie on. Teal hoodie. I guess it's teal.
So the machines will take over. That's why I carry a gun. And my wife laughed. The toaster laughed. I shot the toaster. Okay. We should probably have Varian. Go ahead, Travis. Sorry.
I said that's a classic joke. Classic.
Should have you and Varian introduce yourselves. Varian, introduce yourself.
Hello, everyone out there. My name is Varian Grant. I am the founder of Indie Vote. I started it way, well, not way back, but about 3 years ago. But I've been making comics since 2008. I would say professionally, but Adobe's redefined the word professional. So I'm making comics in 2008. I am a publisher, an artist, a writer, a consumer of comic books, and father, husband, geek, reluctant taxpayer, all that good stuff, all rolled into one little chocolate ball of sexiness. I'm Varian Grant. Thank you for watching Indie World Breakfast Buzz. And we got Travis Gibb here with us this morning.
Yes. I am Travis Gibb. I do Orange Cone Productions. We have several comics. Breakdown 4 Dead Bodies is probably what I'm most known for. We just did Voodoo Nations with Luke Stone. And then currently, right now, I am live with, thus far, my most successful campaign. It's Cthulhu Invades Oz. Apparently, people like Cthulhu and Oz, and them fighting is really exciting to them. But I've got 50 other people working on that with me. So it's probably the other people why they're buying it, not me.
It's two great tastes that go great together.
Right. Like pizza.
Yeah.
I dated a young lady in high school. I'm fond of The Wizard of Oz, too. I dated a young lady in high school. That was her nickname, The Wizard of Oz.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
It would be Cthulhu.
Either one. It's like
it was a school, and it was weird because our I thought it was really cool because our high school
Oz might have been spelt differently.
Well, the thing was, it was OZ. The thing was, our
you missed it. Anyway,
it was funny though because I thought it was really cool. And let me see here 1 second. I was gonna see if I can bring some information up, but I guess I couldn't. That sucks. Let's see here. Yeah, your campaign. You did the most successful campaign you've had so far, which is pretty cool. But for me, Oz, I remember the Wiz when I was a kid. You remember that? The Wiz, and for some reason, the Wiz and the Wizard of Oz have blended. But for me, again, Oz was my ex-girlfriend in school, and it was really weird because our rival football team was called the Scarecrows, and the reason I found out why they were calling her Oz because she gave all the Scarecrows brain, all of them. So yeah.
I was afraid of
Daphne got it.
But that term wasn't even relevant when I was a kid.
We all got it. We just didn't know what to do with it.
Right. Yeah, exactly. It's just like,
I think I even heard my
punchline's coming. The punchline's coming.
I heard my wife groan. Like,
yeah.
No. Make sure they know we didn't date in school. Make sure they know that we didn't. No, I will say this though. It has what?
Trico says chocolate ball of sexiness. Varian needs to put that on your business cards.
I will. I'm gonna order some business cards. It's gonna be up the chocolate ball of sex. What do you think, Lola? Sexy chocolate ball of sexiness. Me.
Sexy ball of chocolate.
Yeah, she's like, yeah, man.
What?
Chocolate ball of sexiness. That's my new title.
Because we're nothing but professional here.
Nothing professional. Hey, look, it's the Breakfast Buzz. If you were expecting professionalism, you picked the wrong show. You had to choose that for Geekgasm last night, where topics got hot and heated.
Oh, but it was good though. It was a good conversation. I was actually, actually a little sad that it was an hour show. But
yeah, you get mad because you go to bed mad. I have more to say.
And then some.
Yeah. Last night's conversation was like an argument that you didn't get to say everything you wanted to. You know what I should have said.
and I made a half-hour video on my own. About it. So.
No, it was a good show, and we appreciate you being on there. If you haven't got a chance to watch that, go ahead and check it out. Randy, I mentioned that because this morning I have numbers. Last night, joining us, listening to us on Geekgasm was our highest audience for that program yet, I believe.
Awesome.
Wow, okay. At 62,000 on Indie World Radio.
Wow, okay.
Right now, we're sitting at 24,000.
It was that Marvi video you played. You know that, right?
Oh yeah. They can't hear
the numbers we got.
Yeah, they can't hear that type of talk without
Well, everyone
Next
wants to
week.
buy this Comics Blast because who needs to make comics anymore? You know,
Right,
just
exactly.
let them make it. So, I mean, this is my last professional comic. I'm just going to use Comic Blast because I'm sick of paying people.
Yeah,
So I'm
yeah.
super excited.
Yeah, this paying people something for the birds, man.
Yeah, that was exactly one of the points that we made. I mean, we're laughing now, but that was one of the serious points we brought up.
No, my letterer, I showed him the video when it came out. I said, watch this. And he was like, it was good knowing you. I was like, I'm not going to fire you. He's like, but he's like, the lettering is the last art that people don't appreciate. And he's like, this is going to go away. He's like, I'm not worried about it for the other stuff that they can't really compete, but lettering, except, and I was like, but for me as a writer, the only value I saw in it, it would be really nice to put out, here's where I'm thinking these should go. That's it. It's more of a hey, here's just a little cool tool. I'm not going to pay Adobe prices for that tool.
Right.
So
Yeah,
I know I'm
yeah.
not going to get it. But it's a cool tool to go, hey, this is where I'm thinking. Like layout, can you do something like that?
One of the
Yeah, that
times,
makes perfect sense. Yeah, that there's, I'm sure that it has potential, but not the way they were
Presenting it, right.
advertising it. Yeah, you know.
someone said in the chat, it's actually in their messages on their comment section that I use Comic Life for my middle school students, and it's better than this program. I'm like, what the hell is Comic Life? And I go look that up. But I'll tell you what, guys, listen. I know that a lot of you listening on Indie Vote Radio are making comics. Matter of fact, I got a message from a gentleman who listens on Indie Vote Radio last night, and he Facebook friended me. But I will tell you this: if you're working comics and Comics Blast bothers you, and if you're listening on Indie Vote Radio, you know we have another show on there called Broke Money Hustle, which is hosted by Professor Trico and Eric Dreaded Dinosaur Hodson. And if you believe in stock and you are making comics for a living, it's now time to dump that Adobe stock, show them how much you don't appreciate what they're done, and invest in Pepto. You're gonna need it. I keep a bottle handy right here. Ever since I ran Indie Vote, it's just like
Industries are changing too fast. You're gonna need it.
Keeps everything.
That may address some of your health issues if you're drinking Pepto like that. I'm not a doctor. I'm just saying.
Yeah, you know, it might. But, you know, this is a step down from Malox. You know, I was suggesting
the hassles of running a media empire.
Yeah. This is me coming down. No, you know, I had to do the Malox.
You like ulcers?
yeah, I had to because the antibiotics they had me on, they were not allowing me to hold any food. It was just like eat. 5 minutes later, I'm in the bathroom, and I'm like, it's not supposed to process this fast unless it is, and any other time I'm not normal. So I had to try something, and that wasn't working either. But it was just it's kind of like crawling on your parents' bed when you're a kid. I'm trying. I'm trying to feel better. This offers no value, but I'm going to try to do this. But yeah. You know, and it's weird because now that seems like, what has it been, 2 weeks now since I've been at the hospital, and
it's barely been a week.
It's barely been a week. Yeah, they can keep it. I'm not going back. I mean, if I can avoid it.
Right, yeah.
The way we all feel, not going back unless you can avoid it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's I mean, it's I just seen and I want to say again, I'm glad he's getting out. David Jackson, a friend of mine, pretty much friend of the industry. I think everyone loves David. Was in the hospital recently himself, but he's getting released. He posted last night. He's getting released, so I'm glad to hear that too, because he and I have a running competition over who's got the most hospital visits per year.
That's a sucky competition.
I had him there in early.
Everyone's a loser.
Yeah. I had him. He had me in early 2020. Then he overstepped me, and then I got him back, and I'm like, yeah, look at the hours, haha. And then he had to go beat me. So you know, it looks like I feel like an athlete. You know, I had him there in the third quarter, but somehow he came out there and he got sick, and you know, I'm be ready for him next year. I think he's gonna take the championship this year, though.
Oh boy,
he's gonna take it from me. I was gonna say something else, but that would have been offensive, and people would have wrote me a letter. And
Oh well.
Yeah. So
remember, we're on the air. We should probably run this also, since especially since we have Travis on.
Mm-hmm.
Let me find it here.
Is it a disclaimer of?
Yes.
Yeah. Disclaimer.
Our standard disclaimer: the views and opinions expressed in this program are not necessarily those of IndieVolt Media LLC and do not reflect the official policy or position of any guest or sponsor. Video discretion is advised, or viewer discretion is advised.
We could make a video. I could probably do a video doing that with a real deep, with my chocolate ball of sex in his voice.
Get that TV announcer voice working.
Yeah, I was gonna do my purr voice.
I want a radio program that does the opposite. We completely agree with everything we say. We defend it. Like that's the stance. Like everything's it's not our opinion. It's facts because we are the most intelligent people and we can never change our minds. So this is.
Well, here we have the most stubborn people.
Yeah. It's like
so we need a disclaimer.
I'm not wrong. I refuse to be told I'm wrong. No, you're not looking at it from my point of view. That's the problem. It is one of those things where I love that picture of Robert Downey Jr. It's me every morning I wake up. Someone brings me information. Also, I don't know if you guys seen this. Everyone's talking about the and if you, I'm not gonna say a name, but everyone's talking about the Ninja Turtle comic, The Last Ronin.
Last Ronin.
I thought you were going to talk about IDW changing their pants or publisher again.
Oh. There's the comic on the screen.
Last Ronin.
The Last Ronin. There's a lot of people right now doing a happy dance, saying they called it. Varian Grant is not a happy camper, but Varian Grant holds out hope that the writers are awesome. And in issue 2, he's gonna say, that's not me. What are you talking about? And if that happens, I'm letting you guys right now know I'm gonna do the Balls Johnson. And I don't want anybody to get people are gonna be Googling Balls.
Yeah, because right now I'm like, can you repeat that in English?
And I'm going to do it. I'm gonna do it like I have to do it like on Twitter though, so I don't get my account banned. But I'm done, and I'm gonna laugh. And do that dance. It's kind of like the money dance in a way, but it's gonna be great. And but it's a good read. It's actually I was kind of worried because I know that it and the finale of the Three Jokers finished yesterday.
Yeah.
And no one was talking about the Three Jokers, and I'm like, oh no. And
because Jeff Johns phoned it in. I'll be honest. The ending was not as exciting as I was hoped.
See, and Jeff Johns is a Michigan guy, so it's like I gotta support him, but I'm like, oh no.
Well, here's the thing, and this isn't. I don't think this is a spoiler. Like they don't explain why there was 3 Jokers ever. So the whole concept that you want the answer to that never gets explained. So you're kind of like, oh, all right, cool.
I don't think there were 3. I think there were 3. It's a weird thing, but I'll tell you this: the one part of it, I
do it.
Okay, there's a part in the story where they go back to the Killing Joke.
Yeah.
Okay, and they basically braid the Killing Joke into continuity, like extremely into continuity. Now,
was that to piss off Alan Moore? Because I know that he kind of like doesn't.
I think it was to piss
he
off
disavowed that book, I think, or something.
I think so. I believe so. And the thing is this.
Well, you just need to make a comic to upset Alan Moore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. I think they did it because they don't have to pay him. Think about it. Alan doesn't want his checks. Like, I don't want my money. I don't want anything from you guys. Screw you guys. And they're like, you know what? We don't have to pay him. This is awesome. We're gonna just not pay him anything and take his best ideas and weave them into our continuity. DC is playing not even 3D chess. They are playing 3D Risk. And apparently no one else can see their grand design. That's an X-Men book, but still no one can see it. But Randy said they don't have a grand design. But
There's your grand design right there.
But yeah, I'm excited to see where they go with it now. Now that Batman's broke. Anyway. Yeah.
So, question for you, Randy, because Randy's smarter than I am. Is this the most covers of any comic, like for alt covers?
We're gonna video clip that.
Yeah, because it's like, well,
just to remind everybody.
Wasn't there like one series where they did like 100 covers?
Yeah.
Was that Star Wars?
Ronan did have a lot.
Yeah, the first Star Wars, didn't it have 100 covers?
Right.
Yeah.
Did it? Okay.
Yeah, Ronan had a bunch though. What was it? 47?
It's I don't know how many. I can count real quick, I guess.
33.
So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 46. I'm sorry, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60,
and
60,
what's
68 covers.
What's the cover price on those covers? Like if you were to collect all of them, what would the final bill be?
Well, it's $8.99, but all the alt covers for store exclusives are going to be 20 plus.
Right.
You know, and then if they have a Virgin, it's probably going to be 30 plus, and then whatever. You know, I was really mad at my local comic store, so I buy. So I don't know if I think I've said this on the program before, but I'm from Dover, New Hampshire, where the Ninja Scrolls are from.
Mm-hmm.
So growing up, I met these guys. I hung out with these guys. I love the Turtles. You know, that's kind of why I love indie comics so much. Because for me, like, it was just a thing. Like, there were guys who live in our neighborhood. You know, these famous guys were making comics. So I get the Kevin Eastman alt covers for all my Ninja Turtles. So every Ninja Turtles comic, I always get it. And they threw it in my folder, and they're like, yeah, you just got to pay us $35 for that. I was like, what are you talking about? You always give me the Kevin Eastman. Well, yeah, but this is really rare. I was like, all right, no, I'm not paying $35.
You want to know my Eastman and Laird story? I'll tell you. It just happened very recently. So I'm looking through, I was over at Randy's house, and I'm looking through his scrapbook, and there's a cutout, and I want Randy to scan this and post it. And it's a Comic-Con, and it has guests, and in big bold 12, like maybe 15-point type, it says Randy Zimmerman under the Arrow Comics, and then in 0.9 type, and Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird.
Yeah,
and I'm like, what the hell? And I'm like, and he's like, yeah, I sat next to them. I know them. And I'm like, and all of a sudden I'm like, I'm trying to touch the hem of Randy's garment. I'm like, who heal me? But it's weird because it's like his name was in bigger letters than theirs. And I'm like, well, wait a minute.
It was a local
and also
show.
that was back in the day too, where they would allow the big names to mingle like that with the plebs. Now they have all like the high end names all cordoned off in their own section.
That was the same show Adam West was at too. I remember it well because he was so bitter.
Well,
I immediately tried to figure out how to cash in on Randy. I'm like, let's see if I can get a phlebotomist here. We can draw his blood, and I can put it in ink pens. And
good luck.
Well, you would have to talk to Stanley's caretaker for that.
Yeah. I was making calls and connections, man. I was trying to get him in, but I mean, right there in New Hampshire, I do have Kevin Eastman's autograph.
I told you I got an Eastman and Laird story too, and it involves the words, "When we get big, we're bringing you all with us."
Oh, right.
See how that went.
Famous last words before when the money comes in.
Exactly. Wherever that came from.
Yeah.
No idea. Wasn't here, but I heard it. But I'm gonna get
standards and practices. It's Google listening in.
No, that was probably standards and practices. They called it
already. No bird here. There's no parrot here.
So it's probably me.
It's standards and practices who also have a really big bottle that's on their desk.
Yeah.
Just for me and Randy. We told them. So yeah, I think that I'm really excited about where some books are going. Other ones not so much. But we're here we're going to talk about Cthulhu and invading, encroaching upon Oz. Let's call it what it is. He's I know what happened. I figured out what happened.
All right, what happened?
Poor Oz. Oz, is looking to kind of bring up the area a little bit. They put a Starbucks in, a Whole Foods. There goes the neighborhood, Everybody's got to get out. Here comes Cthulhu. You know, when Whole Foods goes in, everybody else comes out. And there's our Cthulhu now. He's there with his little, Cthulhu-y fingers and not fingers, but tentacles. Cthulhu, very popular character. And now Travis is going to take this character and make him go destroy Oz. Why, Travis? What do you have against Cthulhu? I'm gonna bring your book up. Hold on.
What do I have against Cthulhu or against Oz?
Right, yeah. Maybe that's not the right question, right?
What did Oz do to you as a child?
Right. Well, my grandmother had one of those stupid Toto dogs, and it kept barking at me. So that's probably the worst thing. Those dogs are they bark. What kind of is that? A miniature snout? What is it?
It's some kind of terrier, but they're all noisy like that.
Right.
Scottish terrier.
Yes.
Sean says, Oz, that sounds cool. I saw some meme where Batman beats up Scarecrow. LOL. Yeah, we saw that too. That was funny. Anyway,
Cthulhu made a 140 plus page original graphic novel. It's you got 26 days left to go on it because you just launched it. This is
I just launched it. And my number, when I say it's the most successful, like it hasn't really beat all my highest numbers, but it's on trend to beat all my highest numbers. So
now your goal is 20 grand.
Yep.
20. Now, are you is that flexible, or you're gonna get 20 grand?
No, there's no flex. It's on Kickstarter, so there's no flex goal. There's none of that on Kickstarter. It's all or nothing. But I mean, I just need just so you understand, that's with me making zero. That's 700 books printed. That's paying the $8,000 for all the creative teams. It's about 8,000 print because I got hardcovers and soft covers and all that, and all the little material that I need to get for everything, like prints and bumper stickers and like this and that. So like it's a lot.
So the 20 grand isn't just a dart tossed at the board.
Correct. It's hard math that made me sad because I was just like, we could do it for 12 or 15, and then I was like, sure, if you want to lose $5,000. I was like, no, I don't want to lose $5,000.
Hard math that made me sad.
Yeah, no, for real. It's like, well, the thing is though, but this sounds like a sizable book, so the costs just go up, and the fact that you're doing like hardcovers and whatnot. So
well, and I mean, I've got the creative teams to back it up. I've got everyone I know at Scout who's friends with me. I've got all the people at SourcePoint that are friends with me. Mad Cave, Action Lab. So anybody who I knew at the time who were friends are in this. I wish I knew you back then, Daphne, because you would have been great. Like, just all the characters of Oz would have been fantastic.
For thank you.
I didn't know you back then.
I know. It's But,
this was like a year. We've been making this for a year. It's 100% done.
Mm-hmm. So the only thing you gotta do is print it now at this point.
Correct. Yeah. It's 100% done. I mean, we got some proofing to do, of course, and some edits just to make sure it's good. I also have a specialist from Cthulhu and a specialist from Oz to make sure we kept continuity. Because if you don't know, the Oz people are nuts, from what I understand. Like, that was the biggest warning. Like, Oz people, if you don't get their continuity right, they will bury you.
Don't mess with fandoms.
Right.
Yeah. For a second, I thought you meant the estate. It's like, wait, isn't this in public domain? But then it's like, oh, no. The fandom will get you.
Yeah.
But I mean, what I like is that, like, what I'm seeing on the screen. I mean, that is like so the aesthetic of like Oz in general. It's like that. It's like I just like the way like the Cthulhu looks. Like, he looks part of that universe as opposed to just like how some books where it's like, oh, it's Cthulhu, so he has to look different or something. Right. But here he really looks like he's part of the entire world, which I guess Cthulhu could be.
We did, because everyone drew him a little different and stuff like that. So though this is an anthology piece, it is one continuing story. So what we did is we had basically like a normal war, So for 324 days is what it took to take over Oz. Cthulhu wins. But we give you snapshots of what's happening during these days of invasions. So there's tons of stories that are missing. But as we progress, which was really cool, and it wasn't, I just kind of threw this out to the guys, the stories got sillier and sillier. So it's actually like Cthulhu, the magic of Oz kind of infects Cthulhu, and he gets a little silly as it progresses because he's really tough and very Cthulhu-ish in the beginning, and then as it progresses, he gets a little more silly, which I found so endearing. I found it really, really wonderful that even though he's invading, like he is not the Cthulhu that started in the beginning of the book.
That's funny. That's funny.
Cthulhu is, you know, I recall, you know, there's been people using Cthulhu in movies and different companies, and each company, I always get mad because they'll do. I feel he's getting the short end of the stick on screen.
Well, he's a complicated monster, so and thus then expensive.
yeah. It's like, I mean, I've seen him with an entire like huge, like almost like a, you know, you gotta be careful because I've seen people try to give him like a huge, like muscular body before, and he just looks like a Man Thing's cousin at that point, you know, with the ends like, come on. But I do like the character. I've tried to think of ways to rip it off without calling it Cthulhu because I want to seem like I'm really deep and creative, but I can't. I did want to run past some of those comments though. Jody's, he says Varian is going to pull a Denny Green. You had him and let him off the hook. If you're going to crown him. Definitely not going to beat the win. Nine Realms Comics says, I heard 3 Jokers ended like crap from what I understand. Alan Moore is a nut job, says Glenn Ford. Larable Comics, aka Larry, says, LOL, I had 8. It means he has 8 covers. He had 8 covers, and probably more because I know he's not finished yet. He's not. He can't be. I think the new Turtles book has 74, says Ralph Griffith. Stench is in the house. Hello, sir.
Hey, Stench. How you doing?
Ralph Griffith says, I think the new Eternals. And then let's see, what else have I? Glenn can't say.
The crossover book has a lot too, right? The new Donny Cates book, I think that has a shit ton of covers too.
Cthulhu, relay, yeah. I love how others are playing with the Oz mythos. Wonder why. Yeah. Jeffrey Stark, who apparently is, we're going to say that he owns some Stark Enterprises. I love your art, Daphne. Your website is really well done and professional.
Thank you. I try.
Comic book black belt. This looks cool. Morning, everyone. By the way, good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, Comic Book Black Belt. I sent you a link on Facebook. You're welcome in, Russ. Come on in.
Oz Phantom is a unique one for sure. Sten says that Comic Book Black Belt. Hey, Russ, you open shots for guests watching along for the mic for the night. And JR Dunn says, how's it going? Hello, JR. I would imagine so. Check in. He's talking to Stench. Okay, so now I did want to bring up one point. Now you got this campaign, 26 days ago. It was long. Oh, you got 26 days left. Our listeners
love the logo. Love that logo.
Thanks.
I do like the fact that this is going to be a 140-page book. This is a big book. It's not going to be like a standard, 30-page comic. This is a graphic novel. Now you got 3 different covers.
Right.
And there he is. He got the big muscular body, which some people, they don't do it right. I've seen somebody give him the skinny body once. I've seen he was like emaciated. He really looked like he was starving. And you got him here. He's very scary looking creature.
If you scroll down a little bit, you can actually see him full size, those covers.
Oh, let me see here.
How many pages is this?
It's 145 current count. However, there's stretch goals and stuff like that where we may do a few more.
Mm-hmm. He's got a little pot belly on that one. It's cool. He's been in the water a long time. He doesn't have to. He's like me when I get out of bed. Hungry pancakes. Where are they?
We tried to get classic covers, like from back in the day. Like that's an old style cover, art style. And then we tried to do one more comic-y, and then we tried to do, and then one is fully painted. So the third one, the hardcover one, is fully painted on Wizard of Oz paper. So someone ripped up the book, put it on their canvas, and actually hand painted the whole thing. That's the next one down. Okay. So that's hand painted on Oz paper. So that Oz in the background is actually because of that's the page that says Oz.
I wonder, was it a first printing? That would be.
I don't think so.
Here's the thing: it's not a first printing, but he's like, I'm going to do it on really good paper. So he bought the $35 Oz book, and I was like, why? Like you're ripping it up? I don't understand.
Hey, some artists, when we get it in our head, we get, we're doing this. I'm doing this, and
I mean, if you thought Oz fandom was bad, book fandom is even worse. Right. Don't say you ripped up a first edition anything to make a painting.
Now it says here, let me see here, you've got the digital invasion, which obviously ships worldwide, and we got a lot of our backers will ask about that. Especially, the overseas is their digital version. So you can get that for $12. It's the estimated delivery is December 2020, so you only got 2 months to wait. And there's a digital invasion or digital version and audio commentary for 15.
Audio commentary.
Yeah, we're gonna get as many of the creators as we can, and we're gonna talk about our stories. We're gonna do like a stream, record the whole thing, and send it out to everyone.
Oh wow, that's clever. Sure. I mean, I'm so used to it for movies. It never occurred to me to do it for a book.
Oh, you should absolutely, especially your trade paperbacks and stuff. When you have all this stuff. Why did you do this? What did you cut?
Oh, interesting.
I've seen a lot of people do that now on YouTube. They'll tell people to get their book out, and they'll go through it, and you can go through it, and they'll go through it panel by panel with you. I did it kind of with Catharsis, but I gave up midway through the book because I started roasting my own art.
Oh.
Well, and I also think it's easier with an anthology because not only do you have the story of the book, but how they got in the anthology. Or, because everyone has a story. Not everything is so cut and dry of just asking somebody. And someone's like, well, I said no at first because I was busy, but then I couldn't get it out of my head. And then you got this artist for me and I did it. There's all those little stories.
So let's look at the physical collection. Let's have the physical pledges. Let's see.
Yeah, so for today, till 8:00 today, you can get it for $25 for early bird special. So, but that ends in what, 10 hours? I think it says.
10 hours. You can no additional charges, no additional domestic shipping charges. You get a physical copy of Cthulhu Invades Oz and all its soft cover glory, plus a digital copy of Cthulhu Invades Oz and audio commentary by select creators, which is $25. It's not bad. That's not bad. You can this is 140 plus plays. How many creative teams?
There is 19 creative teams. It's 50 plus creators.
Cool. Now, have you experienced any blowback from anybody? Like, oh, you're playing in the world of Lovecraft, and he's a horrible human being. Have you gotten that yet?
No. I haven't got any blowback. The only blowback I've got is the first comment that I got. Wow, you really like to exploit public domain, Travis. Good for you.
That's the point. But that's the point of public domain. That's the whole thing. It's for the average person to be able to take these properties and play with them and expand on the mythology. Yeah.
I just like Disney did it way before me, so it's fine.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I got a book. I got a book that I'm working on right now. It's Felix the Cat Does Drugs, and it's gonna be.
He's making a new collection of Tijuana Bibles.
That was a cartoon that came out back in the 1920s.
Was it? Okay. All right. Well,
I'm sure.
Because I thought that maybe you would have gotten some blowback for putting Cthulhu in Oz. The whole Oz fandom. I would have thought that maybe that would have.
Yeah, the Oz fandom. So they ask a lot of questions, and they kind of test me. So they ask me a lot of questions. You have this character. Where in the book series does this take place in continuity?
Wow.
So the Oz fans, I basically have to sell and make sure I know everything. And I'm pretty well educated when I created this, but not as much as those guys. Those guys just know everything. They're just like, so how can you do this without the Gnome King? Why did the Gnome King not stop Cthulhu? I was like, well, the Gnome King isn't in my book. Don't worry about it.
Wow. Yeah, that's.
Yeah. Isn't it messed up that I guess you can my comic takes things in the Bible, and I'm like, well, I'm just going to move this here, and I'm going to move this here. I'm going to play with this, and you can do that to the Bible. No one bats an eye, but you change Oz around, and all of a sudden, here they come descending upon you.
Yeah, it's a little.
The Book of Mormon kind of rewrote the whole Bible. A lot of people give a lot of crap to those guys.
There's some people who don't recognize the King James version, so it depends on which continuity, I guess, you're loyal to.
Christy Shan says, looking good. She likes the book. Hey,
hey, Christy, how you doing? Thanks for listening.
Hey.
Sten says, ain't Cthulhu without a pot belly. I need that dad by a dragon tentacle man. And, Ralph says we had to stay away from the MGM versions of Oz as they.
Oh yeah, well that's
legal
different.
action.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
different. Yeah.
I
You
follow that
can't
thing.
use ruby, for instance, you can't use ruby slippers. You have
Yeah.
to use silver slippers, which are in the book. There's a couple of you have to. Lion has to at least acknowledge that he normally walks on all four. Things like that are super important. He can stand upright, but you have to acknowledge that he primarily goes on all four because that's what he does in the book.
Well, that was also why the Disney movie, The Return to Oz, was so different and freaked everybody out. Because it was actually more based on the books, because I'm sure they couldn't touch the MGM version either.
Right.
And it confused people because most people, the average person, they know the MGM version. They don't know the books. So when, and also it's like it freaked them out because, Return to Oz was creepy as hell. So it's like
so are the books once you get into them.
Yeah.
So they're not exactly the happy-go-lucky MGM.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, they try to lobotomize Dorothy in the books. So even though it's a children's book, they try to lobotomize her because she won't give up that Oz is real.
Right, yeah. Yeah, fun stuff.
I wonder if, I shouldn't say that. Well,
I long for the day when they actually sit down and do proper adaptions of the books. And other media. I think it'll freak a lot of people out in general.
But can they? Like, imagine if Wizard of Oz, the MGM version, was made today. Imagine the internet backlash. Oh my God, that's not right. I boycott this movie. They had brought up actors on different charges. They would have checked their Twitters. Imagine that.
Actually, you did remind me of something, Varian. You asked me, was there any backlash? There is one backlash. Scroll down a little bit. Let me show you what people had
because it's like
there's
one person. There's that one guy.
You haven't seen it. Yeah, keep scrolling down in the middle. So these are all the stories. Keep going. That's Scarecrow. That's Lion. That's Toto. That's Yellow Brick Road. Blah, blah, blah. Right there. Scroll right there. That wizard happens to be of a different color skin than the normal wizard we see. So a little bit of backlash on that.
Wow, that's a different issue. That's their problem.
Yeah.
It's like
I was worried for a second before you said that because I'm like, did he transform into a gorilla? Oh, Travis. But no, I was gonna say,
grief.
Travis. I gotta join the chorus of BuZz. But hey, at least no, that's the next panel. Okay, that's fine. I will say this. Sometimes you take that backlash and turn it into the publicity.
Right, sure.
And I did know a young lady who was very much into Oz because she was from Kansas. So she loved the Wizard of Oz. She knew everything about it. And I guess when you live in Kansas and you're a teenager, it was, like you had to know about Wizard of Oz and you had to know all this, these things that weren't, on the surface, there. And she would tell me things and I'm like, that didn't happen. I've seen the movie. And but because that was like all I knew for a long while was the movie. Right. That was it.
Yeah, that's most people. Yeah.
That is. That's most people.
Now, let's see here. Now, again, you got all these teams. I mean, you got a lot of people. The Wicked Witch rides again. And the Charge of the Lollipop Guild. So a group that I've been accused of being a part of because of my height. Many times.
If it makes you feel better, you're probably still taller than me.
They keep taking my height from me. I went to the join my Russ Leach. Or join my Mr. Russ Leach.
Yeah.
Hello.
Ross, how are you?
Good afternoon.
Morning.
Good morning. Good afternoon. Good morning. I'm not quite sure what time zone I'm in anymore.
Oh well, yeah. We're about to scramble everything this Sunday here too.
Yeah.
We're falling back an hour on Sunday.
Yeah.
Well, I'm in Florida. Here's the interesting thing about it. So Florida voted to remove the daylight savings time, but literally the airport said you can do it, but we're not changing our times or doing anything.
Oh my God!
Okay. I guess we'll keep doing daylight savings.
Yeah, no, for real. It's like that's something that it has to be like all or nothing. It's like you can't do like, or else nobody will know what time it is.
Yeah. Because they were like, Orlando's like, we're the biggest tourist attraction in the world to Orlando to go to Disney World. We're not changing our time zones and have everyone confused for flights. Nope, sorry.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I can imagine. I've often thought, like, why do we have time zones? And then I realized I live in a state that apparently has 2 different time zones.
Oh.
Michigan has 2 different time zones, so it's like
but you have to get up into the Upper Peninsula and head west for a while before that time shift happens.
Yeah. Luckily, there's nothing.
You're all good in the Lower Peninsula.
There's nothing up there I need really. So
you don't go any farther north than Bay City anyway. So
no. Bay Cities might be cutting it close.
Right at the corner of the thumb, you're done. After that, anything north of there.
Well, also, it's like, don't you like enter Canada at that point or something? Was something going on up there?
Once you get up into the UP, it's a whole different state.
Oh,
listen, I'm telling you, I get to the tip of the glove, and I'm looking across, and I'm like, "Is that Russia? That's Michigan. That's Michigan still. Are you sure? Because I see flags. I see Russian flags. That's Russia. That's Michigan. No, it's okay. I'm not going over there. Especially, look, the further up in the glove you go, how to put this delicately?
You don't have to put it delicately.
Look, it sounds bad to begin with.
Are they Canadian refugees, Canadian immigrants hiding out? Do we need a wall?
No,
that's all over Michigan. That's all over.
It's the further up I go,
and you can't put a wall through the Great Lakes. It just doesn't happen.
Right? Yeah.
I start looking like,
is that French Canada? Because I'm scared.
Look. I'm telling you right now. Listen, you guys you have to understand this. When I or any black person walks in a room, we immediately scan for other black people, and it's like this. We give you a little reassuring nod. It's like this.
I had to send him a selfie from Mackinac City to assure him that there are multiple people of color all over the state.
Yeah, and he sent me the picture, and I still don't believe him. I think they were very tan.
Didn't believe me.
I think they're very tan. They were They could have been statues. They could have been. They could have been on some type of like work detail. I don't believe they were there willingly. I think they were there.
They were there willingly. Yes.
No. It could. You know what? Too. It was a digital photo. You can do all type of little trickery with it.
Oh boy.
They probably got an app. Add my black friend app that you can throw somebody. I do not believe there are black people because I get to Traverse City and I get to looking around. I'm like, where? I'm the only one. Because it's a bird. Because then you have to and the burden is that you have to identify for everybody. You have to represent your whole culture.
And yet your favorite hat comes from Traverse City.
It does. The coonskin hat comes from Traverse City, which, when I bought it, there was some stares like, he's gonna buy that hat. He's gonna buy that hat. He's buying that hat. And did you see the girl they come in here with? Yeah. There I am. And people don't know that. Some people still don't know because I've been finding people still don't know why I bought that hat. It was because I had been called the silver spoon C word, and I was like, you know what? I'm taking it. I'm going to own it.
And it's the other C word.
Yeah, the other
not
C
the main
word.
C word.
It's not the see you next Tuesday word. No.
Yeah, and I was like, I'm going to take it. I'm going to be that. And so I wear the coonskin cap, and I need to get a big silver spoon still, though. Still got to get that. Yeah, because people suck. That's why. And it wasn't people who you think would call you that. It was people like me. Yeah. So it was weird. But what's not weird is the fact that we have the worker bees of Oz rebuilding Emerald City. Now, are they union?
They are union. Yeah. This was actually Michael Watson came up with this. So this is a throwaway line in one of the books. It says, "Oh yeah, the bees rebuild the city of Oz." Like it was just a throwaway line in the book that the bees have never showed up. So we did it. We threw them in there, and they do a little thing.
Those are some pretty buff bees. I'm looking at muscle structure. I'm like, wow.
Well, they're in construction.
Yeah.
What do you expect?
Yeah. I picture they all have New York voices too. Like, hey, I'm gonna go over here and finish up this gird over here.
And I think Emerald's a hard metal to work with, or gem. So I mean, it's a lot of work.
I'm verklempt. I've been slinging shovels all day. What do you want? We got Blenda versus Wheelers. Now,
Is that the yellow
Return
head?
to Oz.
Yeah.
That's Now you've got all these creative teams in there. They're all excited for the book, and they're all probably pushing it as well. 19 different creative teams. That's a lot of people. How was it? Was it like wrangling a bag of cats?
No. One of the things that I did versus other anthologies, I didn't have like an open like call. I actually hand invited everybody. I messaged them and said, "Hey, I want you on this team. Are you interested?" So I only asked people who were professionals. In fact, at the end of the day, when it was deadline time, literally I was the only one who missed deadline myself. I missed my color. My colors weren't done. So it was really, really awesome. So no, I was super blessed. I've heard horror stories about anthologies, but I didn't have that experience at all. Like all my guys were professional and they were super excited about it.
I mean, we tried to put together like a card set and it was impossible. We had to abandon all we were doing was telling people to just send in pinups that they had done already and they couldn't do that. So, you know, the fact that you can get an anthology done as seamlessly as possible, good for you.
Yeah. Now, again,
a lot of coordination.
Because I had professionals, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, you see, and the cool thing is too, when you're the only person that's late, it doesn't really matter. No one has to know that. Yeah. So I wouldn't tell anybody, "Oh, I'm late," but I got everybody else's stuff. I'm good.
Because you're always late.
Oh yeah, like what is a?
You're still drawing feathers.
Yeah. It's, but they're gonna be the nicest feathers you ever seen. When they're finished, they're gonna be nice, detailed. I'm drawing in each fiber, and
that was a mistake I used to do at the beginning too. Well, it's like just way too much going on, and then it all muddies up when it prints anyway.
I'm sitting at Comic-Con. I hand Randy. I'm riding Randy's coattails of fame. I'm sitting at the table. Of course you are. Yeah. I'm sitting at the table with him because, like, you know, Randy's like at a lot of shows, and I'm like, I'm gonna sit with Randy, and I hand him my portfolio, and he's looking at it, and he's like, "Oh," and he says, "Those are nice leaves," and I'm like, "Those are feathers. Those are his wings," and Randy says, "Oh, those don't look like feathers," and something inside of me snaps.
Hasn't been the same since.
Right, yeah.
It's true. Every show I've been on, you've told this story, so I'm really concerned. Like,
my heart rate is going up, y'all get, and I'm like, what? So I'm at the table trying to fix it, and I came home, and the page is still out over there somewhere. I'm still like fixing feathers. I'm just looking at him like, and Randy, and Randy. But the cool thing was he didn't just say those don't like feathers. He then proceeded to take a piece of paper out and draw feathers. And show me what a feather is supposed to look like.
This is how you draw feathers.
Yeah. Well, look, just be glad you weren't obsessed with getting Neil Adams' opinion.
Yeah, there you go. Neil Adams would have made you cry.
Yeah, exactly. You know, so
it's that would have been sad. But I did get Jim Shooter's opinion that same show, so it was mixed because I went over to Jim Shooter and I asked him to take a picture with him. He's like, "Yeah, sure," and then he looked at my artwork. I just want you to like open my portfolio and like, look, you're really reaming into me. He's like, okay, and we do the picture, and then
it was hilarious.
Yeah, he says, is this your artwork? I said, yeah. He says, this is pretty good. And oh boy, I was on cloud 9, you know, but I still had Randy back in my head saying, these aren't feathers.
Jim was severely ill at the time too.
Oh boy.
Could you imagine if he'd have said nice feathers?
Yeah.
The quandary you'd have been in.
Yeah.
Oh my God, what do I do now?
So that Randy's full of shit.
Junior said they were feathers.
He doesn't know what he's talking about. Goddamn. Yeah.
So now you
need to come back to the table. Jim Shooter loves my feathers.
Yeah. I'd have a little strut too when I did it a little. So this book couldn't be done in Comic Blast. I'm seeing some. I'm seeing a lot of good sound effects.
I think we give that. I think we're giving Adobe way too much attention.
Too much free publicity.
No, yeah, exactly.
Why do you think they called it Comics Blast? They want to be on blast.
Yeah, really.
Well, I'm looking at something that's pretty neat here. What they've done, and I think I'm going to steal it. Sorry, Travis. I'm going to steal this.
All right, cool.
Your balloons here, your boxes here. So
they call them captions.
Caption box, right?
Yeah.
So it's yellow, but there's white around it. Then there's a black stroke and almost a drop shadow too.
Mm-hmm.
And so you can, if you look at it, I appreciate little things like that when I look at it. There was a lot of, there was a lot of detail that went into even the boxes. So you couldn't do this on Comics Blast. You can't. It's impossible.
Well, this is so one of the things that we did in this book is I have one letterer that does all the pages in this book because I wanted one consistent element through the whole thing. So his name's Jerome Gagnon. He's the guy who does all the Orange Cone stuff. So he did all of it because I really wanted one familiar thing that goes through everything to have one feel.
Mm-hmm. I tried to get my mother's name is Dorothy, and I tried to get her to name her dog Toto, and she wouldn't, and she refused, and she's like, no, I've heard that joke my entire life.
Oh yeah, I could imagine.
Yeah, I refuse to. No,
I thought you just didn't like the rock band.
If you play Africa one more time.
Yeah, she refuses to. So I don't even. I bought her a Dorothy Barbie doll. She collects Barbie dolls, and it kind of went missing after a while. Like,
just disappeared.
Yeah, disappeared out of her collection.
No, I just wanted to make a comment about the caption boxes and the lettering and I think it's great that you chose one letterer for the entire book to tie it all together because from the program that I'm a little tired of mentioning its name, it really takes away from the fact that lettering in and of itself is its own skill.
Yeah.
And it has its own rules and its own aesthetics and its own it's its own thing that you have to learn to master in order for it to look correct in the medium. And it's just like
the two biggest things that jumped out from that Comic Blast was one, inking.
Yeah.
No respect for the inking process whatsoever. Yeah. And two, lettering. Absolutely no understanding of why lettering is so important.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And if you go back up to some of the pages further up, there's an even better example, and that is where the lettering isn't just straight text, like the rah and the rip.
Oh, right.
The sound effects.
It didn't just use the template.
No, that's right. I mean, look how good they are. Look how they pop off the page and add to the story. It's a whole, the whole thing coming together because the lettering's so good.
Yeah, which is I know is Randy's pet peeve when people just take the templates, I guess like the special effects templates from, what was it, Blambot, and then just drop it in without doing anything with it. You're supposed to manipulate it. You're supposed to.
Yeah,
every time a gun goes off, you see the same blam, blam, blam.
Yeah.
I mixed all mine up, even to the point where some of them I actually hand drew.
Mm-hmm.
To make them a little bit different and mix the sound effects up.
Yeah.
I want to put up there that I also mentioned that Nine Realms says super excited, just back Cthulhu.
Yeah, I keep saying that Kickstarter going to make me broke.
Kickstarter and Indiegogo,
yeah.
This says, Randy, I'm with you on the proper adaptations. Got to get that Losers Gangbang from It on full display. The original versions of most children's stories would freak out today's audiences.
Yeah, they would.
And yeah, I mean, and then Mara V is in the house. Says hello, time change in Portugal. So I'm like, how are you doing today?
Hey, Marv. Thank you.
Marv, we played your video twice, Marv. Each time to everyone's.
You're very lucky to get that exclusive interview. It was, that was quite the feat.
Didn't they go back last weekend?
I think so. I think he mentioned it.
Behind all week, buddy.
Yeah, but you know how it is. It's like, we changed that hour and we can't function for another month and a half.
Yeah.
He says, wait till I do a video about comic book writers, designers.
Yeah, really. I know, right?
Yeah. And now, Travis, we were talking last night. There's a program now for writers as well that will help your plot. It will actually write your plot for you. Put your plot elements in. It will move your characters around, do what it needs to do. Basically, you input your characters' names, your plot. You write a couple sentences. The program learns it and writes out a script. Now, as a writer now, that's what you're mainly a writer, right? So you feel personally attacked yet?
Well, there's a couple of people who I've read their comics, and that sounds fantastic. I'd love to recommend that program to them. Oh,
Ouch.
It's going to improve some people. There's no doubt.
I'm just saying, it's not all bad. It may not have helped me any, but I can
Right,
think of
yeah.
a couple of people where it could be pretty useful.
I would say I would like to write. I would like that program because I would want to like take another book and write the characters in it, write a couple lines of plot, and then see what it gives me. Like, is it going to be an Elseworlds version of a pretty good story? Can I take like a book of the Bible and do that and see what happens? Like, oh, on this version, because you can start your own Bible. I mean, people have done it already, but you could start your own version. I could get public domain characters I've always wanted to toy with. I'm the best writer ever. It'd be great. But
people are doing that.
I had a writer once tell me I read his book and I said, I really didn't understand this. And I sat with him like, very nice. Can you explain this to me? And I sat with him and he's like, oh yeah, well, none of this is going to really make sense until issue 7.
Right.
I was like, well, that's a long time from now.
No, you know what? I have to ask that because it's like, I've gotten some odd commentary like that it's like, I'm putting together my I already had it print tested for a Kickstarter in January, and I've had people, and I've been very self-conscious about info dumps,
right?
But so I'm trying to like balance it out, that it's like, okay, well, so far I have 5 issues, so the information is spread out among 5 issues. But then it's like people go, oh, you don't give enough information in the first issue. And I'm like going, well, wow. It's like, on one hand, it means that they read every line in the comic, which, I appreciate. But at the same time, it's like, I put a lot of information in to begin with. It's like, I'm not writing a novel, but it is spread out among issues. And I'm just wondering if that's like a common it's not a complaint, but it's like, I'm glad they're excited that they want more information about the story, but also it's like, I would think that the format would make it obvious that more information is coming soon.
I wonder if that's a problem with impatience in the modern consumption of entertainment, where people want everything as quickly as possible. And obviously with books, with episodic content like this, it takes a little while for us to get the stuff turned around.
Right.
I was going up 197 backers right now. Still 26 days left to go. You still got time to get in, everybody. Travis is not sweating yet. He's got 26 days left. He can go into a coma for a week and still come out of this smelling like a rose. He's got a lot of time. I think if $6,836, if he keeps going, he will hit his goal fairly easily with no he might actually hit his goal with days, maybe a week or so to spare.
Well, yeah, our goal is trying to get 1,000 a day, and go from there. So we're gonna make it 27 because I'd like a little buffer to do some stuff. I'd like some stretch goals, but yeah, we're really proud of this. What's really cool is that when we get 3 more backers, we're going to release another story. So at the bottom, there's 2 stories that are released. Mm-hmm. We'll go ahead and release another one. So every 100 backers, we're going to release another story. So you'll be able to see a completed story.
My wife is putting together something of an anthology, 2 of them, which is weird. And they're very different types of anthologies. One just came out of her mind one day. She's like, I'm going to do this. And I've already got the content for it. But the thing is, when you go to people that pitch, hey, I'm doing an anthology, you want to be in it. Generally, like, she hasn't received a no, which upsets me because I've never done an anthology, but I'm always afraid of no. I'm not afraid of it. I don't like no. Did you get any unprofessional no's?
I got a couple. I'm too busy.
Right. Yeah.
I've got a couple of them that were said, "Oh, I'll get back to you," and then when it was now launched, they were like, "Hey, I thought I was in this." No, dude, like that was a year ago. You didn't reply. I'm not tracking you down.
Right. Yeah. There comes a point. Yeah.
Right. Well, and even that, like, I didn't really. There was like 2 people who I really wanted to. Greg Elise's the guy who did The Wizard of Oz. I think he's really, really talented. I think he's a really good advocate for the Black community. He advocates for that community on a regular basis. That I really felt that he would be a piece in this. That I really wanted to include him in his recommendation. So he was the only one who I really hunted down and hound. And again, that's just because I believe in him as a writer. I like his message. I like what he stands for. He was the one who's like, I'll write the wizard, but he has to be Black because he only writes Black characters. And I really acknowledge that about him. Like, he's like that, the guy, he has a rule set of who he is as a comic art writer, where most people don't. They're just like, all right, whatever. You know, he has these rule sets. So I hunted him down, and I really wanted Richard Rivera, the guy who does Stabby Bunny, because I love Stabby Bunny. It's a fan favorite of mine. So I really wanted to get him. But other than that, I asked everyone, and they were just like, yes, absolutely. Let me be in this book.
You know, I'm glad you mentioned that. I know when I fancy myself more as an artist than a writer, but when I'm put in the position where I have to write, I love writing characters of other nationalities or races, because to me, like, I get to go ask that person, you know, hey, you know, how does this work in your culture? Or,
Right.
you know, if we do this, how does this stand up? And doing the research and talking to people, it gives me, it's really fun. Now, I will say this, I have gotten in trouble with that before, because I had in one of my stories, I had a priest, and I wrote this ridiculous throwaway line. It didn't get past editing, but he was married. And then, like, people were like, he's a Catholic priest, man. He can't be married.
Yeah.
Right.
And I remember my smart ass remark was, there's a lot of things he can't do, but they do it, don't they? And
Wow.
but I also I took that. I'm like, oh, you're right, man. I don't know why I didn't see that. And I think I took the wife and kid out. I didn't change. I could have just changed his denomination. I didn't. I was like, oh, he's gonna stay a Catholic priest, because I love playing with Irish Catholic guilt as a story element. I'm like, yeah, he can't.
Catholic guilt in general. It's like,
But that's just research. That's not an inability to put yourself in another situation and try and explore what those people might feel as a writer.
Right.
Yeah.
So you don't want to limit yourself.
Yeah, I try, but then, you know, but it's gotta be hard to put yourself in the headspace of Cthulhu. That's like being in Heath Ledger's Joker. Like, there's no, but like, because you think about that, there's no redeeming qualities to that character. With Cthulhu, he gets to play, you know, he gets sillier. There's a picture where I like that Cthulhu's reading a book. It's a tiny book, and he's in there in a robe. And I like that page because it.
Oh, that he's in his loungewear.
Yeah, Now, see, a variant Grant couldn't have done that, because Cthulhu would have had some naked girls behind him sleeping and stuff. He, you know, walking behind him, you know, reading that pretty, but you know, these aren't tentacles. I'm just kidding. I'm horrible. Michael Olin has joined us.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Michael.
How we doing, everyone?
Good.
Good morning.
Michael, you just backed Cthulhu Invades Oz.
Yes, I did. I backed that
thank you, Mike.
hardcover because I watched the video and I saw that it had like all the original. It has in the background like the original pages from The Wizard of Oz, and I was like, "Ooh, that's cool."
Yeah, it's I'm gonna play the video here without the sound, because for some reason, our good friends over at YouTube keep popping me on sound, even though it is not a copyright. I'm like, no, it's a video, and they keep,
I've been having that problem too.
Yeah.
I've heard. There's a few people saying it.
Yeah, they snatch all videos down.
Yeah.
And I get mad about that. I'm like, wait, what? Take that video out, take the music out. And I'm like, well, can't you just mute it? And they're like, no, took the whole video down. So,
that's a different issue.
But he does show a lot of the art here. So we're gonna play it so people can see it.
Yeah, if you scroll a little bit, I'm kind of boring talking, especially if you can't hear it. You know, scroll a little forward, probably right where you're. Oh, sorry, that's where I'm. A little bit more. One more click. One more click. So the next little section, then you'll have action and it'll look cool. Yeah, my video is horrible, man. Like I have a. There you go. That'll play and show you some pictures and some cool stuff.
And it's you gotta, you have to think he started this book a year ago, so it's done. He said it already. If you're listening on Indie Radio, and I know right now 42,104 of you are listening. Thank you. Want to thank our good friends in Germany. I want to thank. A minute. Oh, okay, Italy. Okay, I'm sorry. The screen was like really weird. Yeah. Italy, and I want to also say thank you guys. Also, because a lot of you have been back in these campaigns, especially when a couple of people. I just had an email about. I had an email come in that I just looked at last night, where a gentleman who'd been on the show had said, "Hey, you know what? In the final hours of my campaign, people came through. It was only a couple of backers, but they were all international, and they pushed this campaign where it needed to be. So that's pretty good. And so if you get a chance to go over there, Cthulhu Invades Oz PDF is very affordable, and it's going to get to you sans that expensive shipping cost that we know, because shipping the book to Australia right now, is the land of Oz. Shipping Oz to Oz is probably. Well,
one of the things I do though, for all my international backers, I always message them and ask to throw extra stuff in, because I hate that I have to charge like $30. So I always ask them what they want, and we have options from getting it signed by up to 5 of the creators in the book, all sorts of different options for them to give it at no additional cost.
Did I? And you've got again the people involved in this project. You'll be able to sell this book for years and years and years to come. But there's so much different Cthulhu. Maybe with Adobe Spark. See, with Adobe Spark, we have to.
You guys are all judging me for the Adobe.
Yeah. How dare you, sir? How dare you? Trico says, "Hey, Odin is here. He is. He's,
yes,
I
exist."
That's actually not Michael Oden. That's Chris O'Donnell playing Michael Oden. That's why the camera isn't that close on him today.
Yeah, it's one of those things. Michael can't be here, so he hired me as a stand-in. And I mean, he's a really nice guy, but he's got stuff he's got going on. And so I had to really get method with this approach. And if I'm too close to the camera, it takes away all of the Hollywood magic.
It's got to be quite a pressure, because you're not as good looking as Michael Oden.
I've told him this, and he's like, "You're being too modest, Chris. You're being too modest." So he's just an outstanding guy, and he's trying his best. So
he's trying. Jeffrey Stark says, "You guys make a fantastic point. How much weight do you put in a focus group reading your stories?" I mean, well, Travis is one of the, you guys are all writers. I mean, Odin, I know Randy, you wrote a lot of stuff. Daphne, Russ, have you done any writing? Like just
this book? Well, I've done 2 scripts. I wouldn't go down the focus group personally, that option personally, because I wouldn't want too much response, because things can get muddy very quickly. However, having people beta read your work, and especially an editor, is extremely important. So a couple of people that you trust the responses of, that they're not going to say, "Oh yeah, it's brilliant," when it isn't, but they're going to give you proper constructive criticism. A few select people to get that to, and then obviously an editor when you're actually in production. I think that's the route I would go. But
I'm gonna go around and get all you guys' opinions on that. I'm gonna go last because mine is very dark. So, and then you guys can talk about my situation. But Randy, focus groups, do you use them?
Isn't all of alternative and independent comics a focus group?
Oh, damn.
Crabs in the bucket.
You get those opinions once you put the product out anyway.
Yeah, whether you want them or
whether
not.
you ask for them or not. Absolutely. Yeah, especially now.
Daphne. You got that focus group?
Well, to add to what I was saying before, so it's like, so I have, you know, like some people beta reading my book, so I can get like pull quotes and reviews and stuff. And sometimes they offer suggestions, and like this particular one kind of threw me off because it's like he was asking questions based on the information in the first issue, but kind of like disappointed that they weren't answered in the first issue, but they do get answered later on. So I was like, well, you know, it's like the first issue is done. Actually, the first 5 issues are done. So it's not like I'm going to change much based on that info. But the funny thing is, like, he ended up asking a question that I don't answer at all because I felt that it was kind of irrelevant to the story that I'm telling at the moment. So that was kind of like where, like, okay, it's like you have a point up until here, and it's like, well, I don't know if I'll ever answer that question you're asking, and that's pretty much it. Like, my book is going already on a trajectory, so I appreciate the suggestions, but at the same time, it's like I'm not really going to change anything based on it. So it depends on what they're telling me, you know, in response to what they're reading.
Travis, you use focus groups at all?
Yes, I do. Yeah, I have a group of a few people. I want people to rip my stuff apart. I really want to be good at this, so I let people rip my shit apart, make me cry, and then I start over.
You should add me to that focus group, Travis.
I may. Every time we talk, you always harass my quality.
Yeah.
Never complain about my quality except for Varian. But
yeah. I find Travis's hairstyle to be weird, and the rest is funny. And it's like we're talking about my book. Oh, I don't want to. I don't want to do this. Then I thought we were just talking about Travis.
I'm out.
But yeah, add an epilogue.
I let people rip me apart because I really want to be good at it. But again, I went through film school, so I was really good at script writing during that. So there's certain things I've got it to a point where I know what I'm good at. So if they're ripping apart things that I'm good at, I sometimes don't like acknowledge it as much. It really depends on what they're talking about. So if they're making valid points, hey, this doesn't make sense. Hey, this character's arc isn't really working. Those things I can comment. But if they really have some major issues, like I like to address them. And I think it's important to have people you respect really rip yourself apart. And I have them rip it apart again when it's in print because I want them to go, hey, this didn't make sense. You know, I learned a lot in this last year from, comic flow, of what's going on, the story flow, like camera angles. Like if you switch the angle too roughly, though it looks fine on the page, that someone's eye may be bothered by that because they're used to it as it is on a movie. So though it looks fine on a page, people are used to being told a story in a certain way. If you switch that angle, it's not going to work. So things like that, I really work. But Comics Blast is going to fix all that problems for me. So it's really irrelevant.
I was going to say, you mentioned Comics Flow also coming from Google. So that's Comics Flow coming from Google. Mike, do you have a focus group? Do you have people that you?
Actually, I did for the 0 issue script. It was a thing that I did to make sure that I wasn't full of shit. Because like I think one of the biggest things that we as artists have to get over when we're getting into this industry is ourselves, right? We, at the end of the day, I think a lot of artists are very, whether you're a writer, whether you're a visual artist or what have you, we have a lot of self-doubt about things. There are a lot of insecurities that we have where we're like, am I really good enough? And I think that prevents us from getting into that door sometimes. And I know it did for me for years, because I had people that were like, oh, why aren't you going into this? And I'd always make up excuses for myself. Like, oh, well, it's more complicated than that. But it really isn't. And so when I was doing the Elysian Fields issue 0 script, I sent it out to 10 people. I sent it to 5 people that I knew, but I knew that they wouldn't bullshit me. And then I sent it out to 5 people that I was acquaintances with, but didn't really know. So when I got the feedback that I got from that script, and it was generally positive, I was like, okay, I have something here. And that's kind of what I did. I haven't done that since. I am going to be bringing on an editor here for Elysian Fields, just to make sure that as we go on, I don't create any like gaping plot holes or anything like that, and making sure everything's tight on that. But like focus grouping, I think, especially when you're going in for your initial concept and making sure that you have something that a general audience would appreciate, isn't a bad idea. I don't, as far as, future projects are concerned, at the end of the day, the amount that you sell and the amount people come back and say, hey, I enjoyed this, that's the focus. Like, as Randy said, is not the indie comics community, is not that the focus group in and of itself, because they're going to be purchasing the book, they're going to read it, and if they hate it, you're going to know. And if they love it, you're going to know.
You know, I think you made a good point there. I did a editorial piece on IndieVolt where I talked about my father once telling me, I took him some art that I had drawn, and he said, I seen better from you. I was like, 9 or 10, maybe 11. And I was like, what did you say? And I went back and I redid the piece and I brought it back and I redrew it. And he's like, and I think it was better before now. You've changed this and this. So I go back, I change it. And I remember just being so like, I was just upset because he wouldn't tell me what he didn't like about it. He just told me he was using words I never heard, like phoned it in, to 11-year-old. And it's like, this isn't very good. I don't know, and I remember taking it to my mother. She got home from work. I'm like, Mom, look, what? And she said, oh, that's nice. And that was it. And I'm like, high validation from Mom. But the thing was, it made me want to, I kept drawing. So maybe 2 years later, I asked my dad about that piece again. He says, oh, I just told you that because I felt that you were getting, you weren't going to grow. You weren't going to, try to draw better. I kept telling you were doing good. You weren't going to make yourself better. So what I suggested, because, I've seen some very thin-skinned artists, and I think we all have, and creators, maybe get a focus group of people that you can trust, because we've seen people get their books torn apart and they get mad. They're like, I don't believe you. Well, get some people you can trust. Get 4 people you can send it to, like Travis, like Michael Oden has done, and see if they like it. Now, my dark story for that is when I ran my first publishing company, I had wrote a story, and I'm getting ready to release the comic now, but I wrote a story about a young girl, and her origin was very, very dark. Her teacher had tricked her, and because of that, he had done horrible things to her, had the horrible things until over a course of a period of time that we don't really talk about in the comic, but we show that the seasons are passing while this is happening to her. And I left the script for an artist, and that was on a Thursday. For whatever reason, I didn't come into the office on Friday, Saturday. Obviously, I wasn't going to go there on Sunday. But Monday, when I come in, the artist I had put on the project, the editor-in-chief who I had instilled, because I have this Ted Turner-like thing where I put people in charge who technically have more power than me. And the editor-in-chief and 2 other artists were sitting there at this little round table, and they're like, hey, could we talk to you about this script? And I'm like, sure. And I sit down and they tell me, this is too dark. He doesn't want to draw it, and nobody here wants to draw this script. It's too dark. And I'm like, well, there's nothing in it. I mean, it's all implied. I mean, I didn't say show body parts or anything. And they said it's too dark. This would never happen. It's just very dark. And I was like, oh man, okay. So I redid the script. I didn't release it, but I redid the script. Well, the problem is that about 3 years ago, that very thing was happening around the corner from my house. It made national news. And I'm like, you see, it was happening. If it happened 3 years ago, it was happening even when I was writing it. And that focus group took me off the beaten path. Focus groups can really screw you. So it's about how much you want to take what they're saying in as a survey. Because I mean, they had me trash a whole story. And I mean, I've since given the story to a different writer who was much more capable of me and turned in an awesome script. But so I'm kind of glad they did destroy it. But they will take you off of the, path of the story that you want to tell, and that's kind of, for me, that's hard.
Well, I mean, I think that, judging from the way you told the story, I think that the fact that you decided to run with not having the story done, that probably somewhere in the back of your head you kind of felt that maybe there is something about the story that's not clicking, because I think that if you really did believe in that story, you would have said, look, I'll find somebody else to draw it. So so maybe it's like, it's not that like they ruined the story for you. They kind of validated whatever doubts that you had with it. And you ran with that. You ran with your initial gut feeling about the story after they validated it. Not that they said, we're not going to do this story.
There was a part of me too. I think there was like, well, okay, if these guys are all looking at me funny because I wrote this, I don't know if people are going to look at me the same way. So when we're off the air, I'll tell you guys a story. I don't want to say it here because people will be like, oh my goodness. But when we're off the air, I'll tell you guys it's a very quick origin. But and I thought it was empowering. I thought it was, but apparently it was not those things. Edwin signed up for the Ace mailing list. There's hell peeps hell. My brother's name is Edwin. So whenever I see Edwin in the chat, I'm like, okay.
I think John Celestri has a good point here. Focus groups are not for original concepts. Their comments will only muddy the waters of a clear vision.
Yeah. But you have to start off with actually like believing in what you're doing to begin with in order to protect that clear vision. That's the thing. I think that if way too many people have way too many opinions and you're kind of like, oh really, and then all of a sudden whatever story you had, it would just disintegrate. It's like
That's why I think the idea of, I think we're all on the same page, really. When we're talking about focus groups, we were talking about small numbers of people. If you have too many people involved, there's too many ideas. If you have a few people that you trust, that that you can get good, solid criticism from, and then know where the differentiation is between ideas and focus groups or those individuals helping you and editorial.
Right,
because they're two different things. Although obviously editorial can talk to you about concepts and where your story would be going, it's a bit more nuts and bolts than your focus group is. So, or the individuals that you trust. So yeah, sometimes there can be too many voices. That's certainly what I tried to do, was pick out, as the guys were saying, a few people that you think, right, I can trust those people, maybe even one that's completely outside of that you just get a completely raw answer from, and then from then on it's about the editorial, because as John's saying, you don't, especially for something completely new, you want to be careful about diluting the concepts too far,
right?
But definitely you want to I was asked to read somebody else's book recently, and I had to say, look, the way that you're writing it is just you can't get the messages across because you're just trying to do too much in every sentence. Get yourself an editor now. Because that was the only way they were going to move forward, was by understanding the way that they were approaching their writing. Not that I'm any expert, but
and Russ, how did Mike take that advice? I'm
not going to tell Mike how to write. I can assure you that.
Chris O'Donnell, but I'll let him know that you said that.
Yeah. I'll tell Chris how to write. I won't tell you. No.
Well, one of the things I think you realize as a Kickstarter too, as I study Kickstarters and Indiegogos, you really don't know how well your comic is doing until issue 3.
Yeah.
Which is crazy, because issue 1, you're going to get that big flux of family and friends who are going to back you. So your numbers are going to be really high, and it elevates you to think you're really, really great. Issue 2, going to be a little bit lower, or if it goes above, that means something resonated. But issue 3 is where the proof is in the pudding, because I've seen a lot of issue 3s not make it or begging for money. Like I know 2 of them right now who are just begging, please back it. Well, that means something didn't resonate in 1 and 2. And I'm sure people told you and you didn't listen because you saw the money. It's not necessarily the money, it's the story too. Because you can raise as much money as you want. If the story isn't great, you're not going to get return backers, and it's gonna struggle.
Yeah, I think a lot of times you see that. Like, I mean, that's why some people don't go over issue 2. They're like,
right.
Oh man, like I don't know about the rest of you guys, but I started writing a script, and when it got to like, I wrote a script when I got to page like 14. I'm like, there's no story here, and you feel bad because you've wasted time, but.
Well, but at least it's not that you wasted time. It's just that you found out that the story wasn't as big as you thought it was.
Yeah.
I mean, and at least you found it out. You found that out at the writing stage, as opposed to like you started working on a comic and putting it out, and then by issue 2 on Kickstarter, you're like going, I don't know how to finish this.
Yeah. Which is really good because like as an artist, how many times are we? I don't know if you've done this, Daphne. I'm pretty sure you have. There's no script. It's all up here. I'm just gonna draw.
Right. Yeah. And and it's like that's something that I did when I was younger. I mean, now it's like I can't function like that. Because it's like now it's like I have to script everything out. Like even with my story now, it's like I have, like I said, I have the first 5 issues done. I have 2 issues lettered in the layout stage, and then I have the rest of the story, and it's like I'm still hacking away at that story because it's like I can't just put it down. I need that structure for the story to work the way I want it to.
Bizarrely, I did something similar. So I was used to having scripts that were both types, as the Stan Lee method and the so it's very really open ended. I would work with a couple of writers like that. But most of the other writers were a bit more definitive about what was going on, but again, quite loose, so that they, I could do pretty much whatever I wanted. But when it came to writing my own script, maybe because visually I had these things in my head that absolutely had to be on the page, I ended up writing quite a tight script for myself, which I hadn't been using from other writers.
Yeah.
So that was quite odd. I ended up looking at the script at the end and thinking that's the tightest script I've worked on. As in the asking me to do certain things in the art, and it must have simply come from the fact that because I knew the story and I wanted particular things on the page.
Yeah, and also the thing is too, what a script does is that it keeps me from wasting my time. I mean, I know this is going to sound silly, but it's like I really struggle with my artwork. So the artwork is like I don't want to like put myself in a position where I'm redoing things because this scene doesn't work. I changed this and that. So at least with the script, I can just focus on doing the scene exactly the way I have it written without worrying whether is this going to change later. It's like, no, what I'm putting on the paper is exactly what I want and we can move on.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that does help. Although I have to say I probably did a couple of things that I shouldn't have done.
Well, don't we all?
and gave myself a far harder time than I needed to give myself because I wanted to just push it. But yeah.
Well, I think we all like put these random variables that are important to us, right? Like I just got projects we love for the first time. That is something I've wanted ever since I started bet on Kickstarter. But when I finally got it, I then looked at it, right? So there's 300 projects on Kickstarter right now. 101 of them are projects we love. So that means 33% of Kickstarter's projects we love. So it's not that exciting as I thought, right? But it's this random thing that I think is amazing that I really want. And then once you get it and you actually look at it, it's nothing. It's like when I first moved to Florida. I was like, I'm going to work at Universal Studios. It's amazing. It's this big thing. No, it's just a giant ass McDonald's. It's just a bigger McDonald's.
It just has rides.
No different.
I've seen that. Like, I think that, like when you say again, you got products we love, and you see. I know that we try. We also try in the indie industry, especially. to, Randy says it all the time. It's not how big you are, it's how big they think you are. And how big you make people believe that you are. Because I've seen some people put out statements about like their success, and not just this, but like, hey, check this out. I'm doing this, and you go look, and it's like, well, you only sold 2 of them. Why like all you have to do is look at the numbers, and you see like it's like if Russ was like, hey Varian, do a cover for my book, and I'm like, okay, Russ, cool, and I do a cover for Russ's book, and then I run out there and I say, yeah, it sells. Like the first 2 covers that are sold are 2 of mine, and I'm like, yeah, baby, I'm kicking ass on Russ's campaign, and you go look at the numbers that you only sold 2. Yeah, but he hasn't sold any yet. He launched a campaign an hour ago, but I'm the #1 seller because I'm liking that post or that accolade that I'm posting isn't going to last long.
Right.
I got it out there, but it's not. It's going to age poorly.
Well, it's a weird thing because it's like now you're talking about marketing, and marketing is kind of like a weird animal in which it does require you to hype yourself up larger than you really are in order to get attention. It's like it's the noise. The signal to noise ratio it's a lot to fight through. So it's like if you can get if you can like exaggerate an accomplishment, just to get more eyes on you, that's marketing.
Well, yeah, that's a really thin line too, because once you cross it and people decide that you're absolutely full of shit, they're never going to pay attention to you again.
Really, yeah.
Well, I think I forget which book it was I read. I'm not sure if it was Scott McCloud's book or if it was one of the books, but it said Randy's horrible. It said don't.
It's funny how you train of thought. So, go ahead.
It said it was either Scott McCloud's or one of the comic industry books that I read, but it said save your hype for your comic, not your like creative team. Not save the hype for your comic. Go out there and pitch that. And I guess in a way you are, because you're like, yeah, man, I got the #1 selling comic. We just funded. Yeah, you funded. Your goal was $2. Of course, you funded in 2 minutes, and you funded it yourself. Yes. Yeah, which is fine, I guess, but it's like sometimes people look at the numbers and, like you said, Randy, say this person is absolutely
right. Yeah,
poop.
There's a fine line between marketing and trying to throw wool over people's faces, or treating your audience as dumb.
I gotta say poop.
Yeah.
My son is doing online school right now.
Oh,
sometimes he'll come up. Well, I got headphones, and they can't hear what we're saying, but
I can hear what you're saying.
Yeah. He comes off the thing, and I'm like,
teacher said you said shit.
Yeah, teacher said you said orgy gangbang shit. What? I don't understand that.
Dad.
Teacher keeps asking me what the hell is gorilla milk anyway.
Yeah. The kid said, I told the kids you did comics. They don't believe me anymore. They make you
pour your water on, but what?
Yeah. We just so again, everyone, Cthulhu Invades Oz is over on Kickstarter. Travis will love you forever if you go back this campaign. But I also understand that if Travis can crush 20,000, I'm gonna leak a stretch goal. Right now. Travis doesn't know about, but it's going to be a Travis Gibb calendar, Indie Vote exclusive. Travis in his most undressed ever.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be more Cthulhu in his lounge robe.
No. We're getting down to the core.
Same thing.
We're going down to the core. Travis, I don't know if you guys know, but he's been working. He's been hitting the gym. He's getting ready for this pictorial. It's going to be 12 months of Travis just in various poses.
With audio commentary from my focus group, who judges me every month on how I look in the dress.
And each pictorial will kind of reference his work too. Like, so he'll have the, broke down for dead bodies. He'll, it's going to be awesome. We're going to get this done. It's going to, but he's got to cross 20,000 before that can happen.
Yeah.
I got it. Yeah, I can't just be setting up my nudes for free. My OnlyFans would be really
Make
mad.
people pay. Make people pay. And if your feet are in it, it's more money.
That's Lola has got those requests before. I can't tell you how many times we've I haven't ran quotes that said, tell any princess to show feet. To show feet, like that's the quote. Show feet. It's like, what? These people are weird. Joe D. McPhee says focus groups are okay, but it can be limited to all members are not for all members are not growing in their skills. Eventually you will get the same opinion as if you would get from a family member if all are not growing. Family members won't tell you. Family members are like, this is good, baby. That happened in a few groups I was in. Stench says if the gut instinct clashes with the path of most resistance, I'm spilling that gut. John Slushy says focus group members need to be on the same wavelength as you are. Joe says, Randy Zimmerman, can you send me who wrote that book?
Yeah.
Sounds like I need to add that to my library to get educated.
No, you don't. No, you don't.
I think he was being facetious about that part.
I was being very sarcastic.
Yeah.
Damn it! I hope the stretch chair was a Travis Gibb burger. I'm pretty sure Travis will make you a hamburger.
I said, yeah, whatever, man. Let's do it.
I'm pretty sure
I'm always down for a good burger, so I mean that's a win-win.
I'm pretty sure it'll make you a hamburger. It's unless, well, never mind. I'm gonna keep that to myself too.
Keep it to yourself.
I mean, Travis Gibb burger.
I don't think
you're on the air. You're on the
air. So yeah, we got Travis. He's got Cthulhu Invades Oz, and Michael, are you on Kickstarter or Indiegogo?
I'm on Indiegogo. I am prepping actually. Elysian Fields is going to be going to Kickstarter for the first time. I finally figured out how to set up Kickstarter. It's been a huge pain in the butt for me because Indiegogo was very simple for me to get done because I'm like a caveman when it comes to technology. But I've been teaching myself Photoshop and a whole bunch of other things, and so I finally have the tools necessary to really make that happen. So we are going to be doing a Kickstarter for those that are in that Kickstarter only crowd, and we're going to have some stuff special for that campaign. But currently we are live on Indiegogo, and we have some great perks on here. And Daphne mentioned it earlier, but we unveiled the full statue of Achilles dragging Gilgamesh and here the other day, and the response to that has been great. And so in order to unlock that, we need to hit 10K, and 10 of those will become available for purchase. Gorgeous quarter scale statues made with PLA material. Is absolutely just stunning work. And I've been on your guys' show a lot. I've talked a lot about what we've got going on here. We have a fantastic Support Our Troops initiative that we're really trying to push. We've raised around $400 for the Special Forces Charitable Trust so far. Thanks to everybody's generosity and coming in and really getting behind it. Words can't describe how grateful I am, or I should say we are, because as we've established, it's Chris O'Donnell standing in for my
and Chris, take a second to do a quick elevator pitch for Elysian Fields, the Pyramid Gambit.
So when we left off in the Zero issue, Achilles had made his way from death to peace in the afterlife, and then was dragged to an arena where he was fighting the first hero in history, Gilgamesh. And so that's where we pick up in Pyramid Gambit. We're in the middle of this fight between Achilles and Gilgamesh, and so Achilles has to prove his mettle, prove his place in this tournament, and then he teams up with the rest of the members of Team Hades. You've got Theseus, the slayer of the Minotaur and founder of Athens. You've got Heracles, the conqueror of the 12 labors, and together they form Team Hades, and they are going up in their first round in the tournament against the champion of Osiris, Imhotep, who has never been defeated in the arena before. So it's a really epic book. Marcelo, his artwork has improved leaps and bounds from the Zero issue. And not that it was bad there; it was still fantastic. But there's just so much more energy in this book. We've got so much that we're looking to bring to you. It's 54 pages of story right now, and if we end up getting like real lucky and we push as hard as we can and we hit 20K, which would be awesome, we're going to add an additional 10 pages of story to this book, bringing it up to 64 pages of story, and giving you a nice little sneak peek of what we're doing in the next book as well. Like it's a pretty fantastic deal that you got. Great value, and we have a whole bunch of original art for sale. Like we wanted to really make this everything that we could with this next campaign, and improve upon the first one in every single way that we could, and that was thanks to everyone's feedback. And so thank you guys so much for everything that you've given Michael, because I know, speaking as Chris O'Donnell, I know that Michael Odin appreciates every single word that he gets back on Elysian Fields, positive or negative. It's all something that he can use to grow the property.
And I know that I'm going to bring this up too. There was a review on indievolt.com for Elysian Fields issue 0. And I know that you mentioned Marcelo's art, taking leaps and bounds. And I think that was one of, I'm not sure, I don't remember the review directly, but I remember your scores. There's your score.
Yeah.
And so you got, I mean, almost perfect 4s. But I know that you told me you everything that was said in the review you took into consideration when doing this issue. And I think one thing is some of the action looked more posed, and now, like you said, there's more dynamic energy in there. It looks like the characters are actually moving, or pushing and pulling.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. Like there's one of the big things that she had pointed out was while it really worked for the 0 issues, there wasn't a lot of dynamic action with kinetic energy. Mm-hmm. And so like right away we get into that fight with Gilgamesh and Achilles, and the dynamic action that's there, it's through the roof. It really is just absolutely a fantastic thing to look at, and I'm really excited for people to get a hold of that and really see how these characters clashing fits on this huge epic scale. And we still maintain, like, because she did say that she enjoyed the dynamic posing, and so we do have instances like that, but we also wanted to make sure that while you have these like Hollywood Western style standoffs with these characters, it's also a sword and sandals book. So there's going to be hacking, there's going to be slashing, there's going to be shield butts to the face. Like you're going to get your money's worth in that.
Joe Tyler was happy to see Open promoting on IndieVolt. Thanks, Joe. And I seen your comment earlier. I thought I brought it up, but Comics Cast, thank you.
Did Travis Gibb run off?
Yeah, we lost Travis.
He's getting a coffee.
Yeah.
Oh. When you go into the next issue, Mike.
So when am I going to the from Pyramid Gambit?
Yeah.
We're going to be taking a little bit of a break from Elysian Fields so that I can really flesh out this next issue, because this Pages of the Dead is going to be absolutely insane. Right. The things that I have planned for it, and I really like this. That's why I'm bringing in an editor. So that one we're going to be taking a lot more time with, because I want to make sure that everything that I have planned with that, it's going to really flesh out the characters of Team Hades, and it's going to make it's going to elevate Elysian Fields, I feel, in a way that it's no longer yes, it's still going to be that big battle book, but it's going to, without sounding pretentious, it's going to humanize and pseudo deconstruct these characters in a way where you really are invested in them to the point where you want every book. And that's not to say we don't get we get a little bit of that with Achilles predominantly in the next book, because he's our protagonist. But Pages of the Dead is going to be far more centric on Theseus and Heracles as well.
Cool. And
so you're going to get to know them a lot.
Well, the characters are great. If if you're looking for guest artists and you want to pin up or anything like that, please shout me because I'd love to have a go at it.
Oh, dude, I absolutely, and in fact, we'll talk a bit off green screen because there's actually something that I have coming up that I think you'd be perfect for.
Jason Doobie says good morning. Good morning, Jason.
Good morning.
Joe D. McPhee says something we've all said before. Oh no, Travis Gibb. Context is everything. Stin says IndieVote. Any one of you guys got a Discord account I can add? I think there's an IndieVote Discord. I think I know that I got Varian Grant. I think as a Discord. If Stinch, I can I will post it if I can find it. I haven't gone on Discord in quite a while. It's probably full of pornography now.
Which might not be a bad thing.
Yeah. I don't use. Says I don't use Boomer Book anymore. Boomer Book, and get in line, brother. Yeah. It's one of the Discord is one of the things that like I remember. I'm not gonna say, but I remember someone setting up a crowdfunding campaign, asking for I think it was 10 or 20K, somewhere between there, to fund their Discord, and I got scared. I'm like, am I paying for that shit? And I went to go look, and I wasn't paying for it. But I don't know why that person was asking for 10K. I mean, judging from who it was, I know why they did it because they're, Anyway, so and then I want to bring up one other project. I know we're running out of time here. What was that? Oh, Randy did it for me. Only Death Can Save Us, which I just pitched the second issue to. As a co-creator, Russ has denied me. Russ has denied my co-creator status on it. That's okay. But Only Death Can Save Us.
That logo is so awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I love that logo.
Yeah, the whole book is incredible. It's one of those products that once you see it, you know you have to back it. It's a great product.
3 days left.
3 days. 3 days. Very close to the first four stretch goals, which are the ones I love so much because they're postcards. So you get a full set of postcards of the four main horsemen. But I'd also, I don't think it's going to happen, but I'd love to get to 6am's art because there's an embroidered patch. But if I don't get there, I'm going to chuck it in as a sticker anyway. I'm gonna have to print it up because it's just too good not to do. So I'll throw in extras that you don't even know you're going to get.
That's cool. I'm going to back it. I just have not done it yet, but I'm going to.
Give the quick elevator pitch, Russ, for our radio listeners.
This is a Bronze Age inspired cosmic fantasy romp. Death is leaps from his ethereal retirement to help a young soul, Chrissy, and their adventure taps into the cosmic underpinning of creativity, of creation, of the entire environment that we exist within, and they end up battling the bad guy Satana, and it's a battle for existence, and it's episodic, so you can jump in at any of the books, but the plan is to have a 4-book arc, and you'll find out even more about the cosmic landscape in the second book.
That's great. And then Russ is I know you put a lot of work into this book. I love that character design. I need an action figure. Action figures and Saturday morning cartoon.
I could see Death as a wobblehead. No, it's got, as much as it's inspired by Bronze Age artists and writers, there's also a bit of Saturday morning cartoon in there as well, as part of the whole all ages thing. Is at the age of something, I can still thoroughly enjoy a good Saturday morning cartoon like the old X-Men and stuff like that, and the stories that were in there they didn't talk down to you. They still had drama and energy and all the rest of it. But kids could watch it as well, and that's what I'm aiming at. That's totally what I'm aiming at. So if there's a producer out there that wants to produce this as a cartoon, come see me. I'm more than happy.
You've got 3 days, guys. You can get into this book. You can even get a backer credit at $33 if you like seeing your name in print like me, because I'm a press whore. $33 will do it for you. Man. I'll do almost anything to see my name in print. And, I'm something's wrong with me. You guys don't understand. It's pretty bad. But you got 3 days left, guys. Get over there. Only Death Can Save Us on Indiegogo.
Thank you.
We've got a lot of cool books we looked at today. Cthulhu Invades Oz on Kickstarter, Elysian Fields on Indiegogo, and Only Death Can Save Us on Indiegogo. All phenomenal books, all worth your hard-earned backing dollar. We don't do anything but those type of books here on Indiegogo.
We try.
With the exception of one a couple of years.
Don't say never.
No, we don't. Yeah, there was one that. Yeah, there was one that was kind of tight.
There's bound to be something.
But Randy, one of our
in there too occasionally.
One of our good sponsors sent me a video and said we have to show this today.
Okay,
we have to show this video. Everyone knows that we're giving away a Caesar scanner.
I thought you were going to run Mark's video again.
No. Everyone knows we're giving away a Caesar scanner, and Caesar told me today. He said, "Oh, told me yesterday. Hey, you need to run this new video we've got for the scanner." So I'm going to run this, you guys. It is available also on Indiegogo right now. Their new scanner. Here we go. I'm going to share it. I asked because it is a paid spot. We all keep a serious spot. Yeah. We keep our mouth shut during the video. All right, here we go. Do you guys hear? Is there sound yet? Is there sound?
Yes.
Yep. There we go. So that's the newest product from Caesar, and you guys, if you're interested in that, that will be launching on Indiegogo in just a few days. Now you can go over to their page and check it out. They got if you sign up now, you get 50% off upon launch. So check that out. The Caesar Aura Mate Pro. If you want to get your hands on the Caesar Ultra, you can do that. We're giving one away. It should be here in a couple of days. I don't want to announce a winner until I have it in my hand and I can ship it immediately out to that person. So, we're going to be doing that. The Caesar scanner, obviously, if you're making comic books, you can scan your pages a lot quicker. Get them over to people that need to have them. I have one sitting right over here next to me. I've shown it before. It's really also good, too. They don't talk about it there, but they're good for drawing. If you're, an artist who likes to do streaming and you want to, traditional paper, you can pop the scanner up, use it as a webcam, and draw right over there. Having a nice overhead cam. So it's really cool. Go check those out. That is all from us. We're gonna let everyone tell where they can be found at. We're gonna start with Russ. Russ, where can people stalk you on the internet at and make your life a living hell?
You can find me on YouTube as Comic Book Black Belt. You can find me at my website, russleach.com and comicbookblackbelt.com. You can find out more about my book at onlydeathcansaveus.com. There's a link there to the campaign. There's also some great fan art on there. Thank you ever so much for everybody who's done that. You can find me on the Twitter, on the Fleecebook. You can find me on Instagram and on Parlay when it works.
Parlay when it works. Everybody ran a parlor because like it's free speech, and they're like, "Yeah, we're down."
Yeah.
Just overload their servers. That's all. Free
Yeah.
speech. Crap, I'm going over there.
Yeah,
What kind of algorithms they got?
Now,
can we talk Q over there?
Yeah. Mr. Oden, where can they find you at?
So this is Chris O'Donnell speaking for Michael Oden. You can find Michael Oden at Twitter on at ElysianFields_0 and on Facebook with the Nine Realms Publishing page. And as he said, Pyramid Gambit is live currently. And then you can find me, Chris O'Donnell, in fan favorite films such as Disney's Three Musketeers and Batman and Robin. So thank you so much.
Thank you. And I'm really looking forward to NCIS Los Angeles. We're looking forward to next season.
New season coming soon.
Yeah.
Probably late November.
Yeah. Really looking forward to it. Travis Gibb, where can they find you out there?
CthulhuInvades.com is where I want you to go. That's where Cthulhu Invades Oz is right now live on Kickstarter. I need to raise $20,000, and I've never made that much in my life, so that's not true. But I just need it. So please help me because I got to pay people, or they'll take out my kneecaps. Which could be fun. I mean, maybe that's enticing to not back. I don't know.
No
I
kink shaming.
also have, if you don't know, I have BrokeDownInVoidedBodies.com has all the broke down stuff, and VoodooNations.com. Me and Luke are doing a tour. We're in Jacksonville on Wednesday next week, and we're on this Saturday. We're going to be at the Collective for Halloween, doing some signings out there. So come and find me. Come hang out.
Cool. And don't take his knees out. If he
Don't
owes you,
take my
just
knees out. Help me raise this money. So don't take my knees out.
yeah. Daphne, where can they find you at now?
Well, if Funny Animal Fantasy is your thing, you can go to Tall Tales, TAILS, online.com and sign up to get the first 3 issues of Tall Tales as downloadable PDFs for free. And if you're also into art tutorials, demos, and video comics, you can also find me on YouTube at Daphne Lage Art, Lage.
And we should admit, we also have, you forgot to announce that your books are handcrafted,
yes,
artisanal,
lovingly produced.
I was going to say that. I just didn't want to interrupt.
Yeah.
Not for consumption, but yeah.
Not for sterile consumption.
Yes, exactly.
Mr. Zimmerman.
Hey everybody, I'm available on Facebook under Randy Zimmerman. You can find me on Twitter under Randy Zim. I don't twit that often. When I do, I twit as Randy Zim. Over there at ZIMM. I also have the Zim Geek channel here on YouTube. So feel free to go over there, subscribe, hit that bell for notifications because I only put up videos very sporadically. And when I do, it's cartoon instructionals or just commentary about comics that we don't cover here. Plus, I'll be back on the Indie Vault network in a couple days on Sunday for the Sunday Funnies, Sunday morning at 9 a.m. Eastern Time, where we talk about the more lighthearted and whimsical side of comics and comic-related media. That'll be a lot of fun. And then I'll be back again with Varian on Tuesday night on the Indie Vault podcast at 9 p.m. Yeah. All those times are Eastern Standard Times. And then back here again for the Breakfast Buzz next Thursday.
At always 9 a.m.
Always here. We're always here.
We have to comment on the comic industry. We have to. It's like in our blood. We have to release this. Dan Stockwell says, I support the troops. Yes, sir. And that's what Michael Oden's book does too. So Stench says, thanks for hanging, peeps. Thank you for watching, Stench. Appreciate it. Want to make everybody that's on Indie Vault Radio now. Thank you guys so much. Appreciate it. We are out of here for the day. You guys are awesome. We will see you all very, very soon.
We didn't get any final numbers from Indie Vault Radio.
I can pull these up real quick. We were at 1 second.
As we always climb throughout the show.
Yeah, we were at
great fans out
pretty
there.
Cool. We're at 41. 41,000. And then the numbers are still like moving around. So yeah. 41,000 people listen. All you 41,000 people, go back those campaigns. Most of them have PDF versions. You can get the book in your country.
We always
paying for the shipping.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for watching. You guys are awesome. We're getting out of here.
No mention of the Roku channel.
No mention of the Roku channel right now, but that's okay. We'll get some stuff up there pretty soon.
They can contact us by Indie Vault Live at indievault.com.
They sure can. IndieVoteLive at IndieVote.com. I'm going to check that email too because remember, Mr. Eric Hodson is giving away copies of the Roddy Piper Kilted Avenger book. If you subscribed on to the webtoon for Dinosaur Man, you have to tell us your name there. IndieVoteLive at IndieVote.com, and Mr. Hodson will make sure you get a copy of his new book, Roddy Piper, the Kilted Avenger, from Mess Bucket Comics, sent right over to you. But if you want to send us a question, include Indie Vote Live in the subject, and please keep those emails to 90 words or less. Of course, Indie Vote Radio, get it on Google Play, iOS, if you have an Apple phone, Streamer. And then, just because he mentioned it, Ruko channel, it's always there. Indie Vote TV, lots of cool stuff up there. It's totally free. Download that on your Roku, and there's some exclusive shows up there that we don't have on the YouTube, and if they are on the YouTube, the ones on the Roku are a little bit longer, and we're not as censored as we usually are there. So we're gonna start putting some special ones up there too that aren't on the YouTube, because we can say what we want to say there. We can show what we want to show. It's awesome. All right, guys, thank you for being with us.
Coming soon, the Insult Nudecast. Is that what you're saying?
Oh yeah. I'm gonna start. Actually, Travis is gonna do it if he hits that 20,000.
No Pants podcast.
Yeah.
I was supposed to wear pants for this?
Yes, no. We'll see you guys later. Take it easy.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
We'll see you soon. Take care, everybody. Stay healthy.
Yay! Think about what you've accomplished.
How can he close me up? On what ground? I'm shocked to find that gambling is going on in here. You're winning.